Welcome back to Left, Right and Centre. Our other big focus tonight, a young major who's taken the Indian Army to court and won the battle to marry the woman he loves, who's a Sri Lankan national. But Major Vikas Kumar's happy ending comes after a year-and-a-half-long legal battle, during which time he's been serving in the army in the northeast. The army has now agreed to accept his resignation as long as he pays for his training.
It may seem like a plot from a Yash Raj movie, an army major who falls in love with a girl from foreign country, struggling to overcome all odds to give his love story a fairy tale ending. But for 35-year-old Major Vikas Kumar, this is no real romance. And in his case, the obstacle, many will say, was the army. When Major Vikas approached the army seeking permission to marry his Sri Lankan girlfriend, the army refused to give its blessings. According to the rules, any army personnel wanting to marry a foreigner must obtain government sanction and the spouse must become an Indian citizen. The order, however, allows the personnel to resign if their foreign spouse refuses to give up their original citizenship. So, in 2011, Major Vikas decided to resign. But the army rejected his resignation, citing the following grounds. He was yet to fulfill the terms of his commission. The Corps of Signals has a 32% shortage of officers. And Kumar was under investigation for not reporting his affair with a foreign national. That's when the legal battle began.
The Karnataka High Court stepped in and asked the army to reconsider its decision in 60 days' time and even slammed the army for its antiquated law. The court said, and I quote, that the world has become a global village. Distrust and discrimination against a foreign citizen has become the order of the day. The court says there is no empirical data which shows that a foreign spouse invariably will constitute a weak link in a matter of national security.
After the court wrap, the army has now decided to relieve the officer, but it comes at a cost. Major Vikas will have to refund the entire cost of his training at the NDA and IMA. Now, even as the case sparks a personal choice versus national security debate, sources close to Major Vikas say the Major and his family want to end this ordeal. They believe the army is a wonderful institution, but also believe that the Major has a fundamental right to marry whom he chooses. Bureau Report, NDTV.
We're asking tonight, is this really a battle about personal freedom versus national security, and should the army have the last word on who its officers marry? Well, joining me on this discussion tonight is Major Vikas Kumar's lawyer, Aditya Sondhi. We'll have the army viewpoint from Lieutenant General G.D. Bakshi joining us in just a short while from now. Also with us tonight, Sonia Fateh, journalist and Pakistani citizen who lives in India and is married to an Indian, and of course, Suhail Seth. But Aditya Sondhi, let me begin with you. You're Major Vikas's lawyer. Your side claims that you played this entire thing by the book. And why did you then have to take the army to court?
Ankita, my client, being an honorable army officer, wanted to play by the rules and in that ensure that he does not violate the applicable army order by marrying a foreign citizen, and therefore chose to apply legitimately to the army, asking for him to be released in order to pursue his love interest. It was only when the army rejected that application initially that he was left with no other choice but to move the court.
Well, you're saying that in a sense, the army's rules indicated that your client could have actually got his resignation processed quite easily, and it was the army who decided to then put a spanner in the works. Is that correct?
I would think so, because the rules are rather clear that in case a serving officer wants to marry a foreign citizen and the foreign citizen is not willing to relinquish her citizenship, as was the case here, then there is no other option but to seek release from the army subject to certain conditions. And that is precisely what Major Vikas sought to do in this case.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.